Now you have a clear idea about what a virus is and what type of damage it can do to our body, and also how we can survive if we have the particular specific antibody to protect us from that particular virus. Now let's see how a vaccine can help us to produce antibodies initially, right? So imagine, right, if some agent, if something can induce or can support us to produce the exact similar antibody inside our body, the antibody inside our body before the virus gets entered, then what will happen? Now some agent, not the virus, right? Some agent is going to act as the antigen. Antigen, if you don't know these words, you can watch the other video, right? It is going to act as the antigen and it induces our white blood cells to produce the antibody, right? The related antibody, right? So this agent is not the virus, but it produces the related antibody inside our body. So if we can do this prior to a virus being entered to our body, what will happen? We will already have these antibodies inside our body, right? So that means we have a stock of the specific antibody inside our body already, right? So when the actual virus comes into our body, if the actual virus comes to our body like this, then these antibodies can go there, right, and lock into these places and either inactivate or destroy this virus, right? So in a vaccine, what we try to do is to produce these antibodies inside our body. So how to do that one? Right. During the vaccination, we are going to enter to that vaccine, we are going to enter a deactivated or a small part, sometimes dead virus or exactly similar deactivated microorganism. In other cases, right? In this case, there is a virus. So scientists, through various experiments, have identified the structure, especially the RNA sequence, that is how we call it, right? RNA, nucleic acid sequence of this COVID-19 virus, right? So they can produce a similar virus to this one, right? That is what we do in vaccination. So they have identified this sequence of this virus and they have produced a similar type of a virus or similar part of that virus which cannot cause us the COVID-19 disease, but it can induce the production of these antibodies against this one. This took a lot of time, right? Several computer simulations and the knowledge of some experts were taken to initially analyze this one and to produce we can say a prototype of this virus. So this is produced, right? So by analyzing the original virus, we have taken the RNA sequence and we have produced that part, right? That prototype virus. Now in vaccination, this prototype is entered to our body by force, right, through this vaccine. So it produces, or the body, the white blood cells think that the virus entered and start to produce the antibodies, and they are stored inside our body, right? So we have already produced antibodies, and when the actual virus gets entered, just like I mentioned you, they can attack the virus. So this is what done in vaccination, identifying the process or identifying the DNA, or in this case it is RNA, right? RNA sequence, and producing a prototype, entering that into a body and producing the antibodies, so that we have antibodies and they are going to destroy the virus. So this is the process. So when we talk about the local medicine, right, all these syrups and everything, right, we are not going to say we shouldn't use them and there is no science involved with that one, likewise, right? But the problem we have is, do those people have an idea about the functioning of a virus, right? Do they have an idea about the functioning of at least the human body, the effects and side effects that those medicine can cause to our body, right? Do they have an idea about the composition of their medicine, right? Can they explain the mechanism which is going to destroy the microorganism? We don't question these things to put them in trouble, right? Or to laugh at that the knowledge what they possess. We just want to clarify, because due to one reason or another, if some side effect is created, few people are going to die due to this disease, right? It is going to be a huge problem, right? So any person who present a particular syrup, right, or any other cure, medicine for this, should be able to explain the mechanism. It is not enough to say, this one said, this God said to me, this God give this mechanism to me, this comes from our generations, likewise, right? Yes, someone can say that, right? We don't know. We don't communicate with all these gods and all these people. But if someone has the ability, okay, it's not a problem. But he or she, that particular person, should be able to explain the mechanism. What is going on? How I am going to destroy using this medicine, likewise. So other than that, all these media briefings and all these things that they do in media, right? All the acts that they perform in media is not going to help in this course, right? So if you are also going to trust a local medicine, right? So please ask that particular person, or please be intelligent enough to inquire into that particular mechanism of that local, or if you are going for the vaccine, mechanism of that particular vaccine, right? So otherwise it can cause the first damage, side effects and all the other things. Second one, assuming that we have a cure, assuming that we have a particular medicine to overcome this one, people will get into the normal behavior, right? So that can immensely increase the spreading of this virus. So that is the biggest problem, right? Obviously, even though we take this vaccine or not, even though we take this syrup or not, most of you will survive from this COVID due to the antibodies that is already produced inside our body. Those who are capable of producing. I explained everything in that video, right? So people will survive, right? But the people who don't have the immunity to do so, and people who get infected with high concentrations of this virus, will have to face the problem. So please, if you are going to trust these local medicines, right, please be intelligent enough to inquire into the process and trust whatever things, right? Saying that the God gave me that all these things are not going to be helpful for this course, right? So that is my advice for you. Thank you very much.